I had a very, very good conversation, as most of you know, yesterday with the president of China. It was a very, very warm conversation. I think we are on the process of getting along very well, and I think that will also be very much of a benefit to Japan. So we had a very, very good talk last night and discussed a lot of subjects. It was a long talk, and we are working on that as we speak. We have conversations with various representatives of China. I believe that will all work out very well for everybody, China, Japan, the United States, and everybody in the region. As far as the currency devaluations, I've been complaining about that for a long time. And I believe that we will all eventually, and probably very much sooner than a lot of people understand or think, we will be all at a level playing field. Take advantage of us with their money and their money supply and devaluation, because we don't know anything. Our country has been run so badly. We know nothing about devaluation. Every other country lives on devaluation. You look at what China's doing. You look at what Japan has done over the years. They play the money market. They play the devaluation market, and we sit there like a bunch of dummies.
So I guess my direct question after reading these things that you have said and written is it your view that if a major American trading partner were to significantly devalue its currency intentionally, aren't you saying that the U.S. should match that devaluation and the Fed should play a role in achieving that devaluation?
Well, thank you, Senator Toomey, for the question, and also for our discussion the other day, which I thought was very substantive. And I agree with what you were saying, that monetary policy executed by the Federal Reserve is directed at achieving our domestic economic objectives, and they've been outlined very clearly by Congress. I have said that among the factors that we need to consider if I were to become a member of the Board of Governors is the political context of the global economy and global finance. And I think we have to be aware of what other central banks are doing. Last year, 49 central banks lowered their interest rate, which caused their currencies to depreciate relative to the dollar, and it wasn't until July that our Federal Reserve decided likewise to lower a quarter point, as they did the next meeting and the next.
So I know I only have 5 minutes and we're down to one. My question is, and I think the only rational conclusion one can come to from reading what you have written and what you've said is that you believe the Fed should actively seek to devalue our currency if other countries are doing that. And I think that's a very, very dangerous path to go down. This beggar thy neighbor mutual currency devaluation is not in our interest, and it is not in the mandate of the Fed to pursue it. I don't think it's achievable. You've got multiple currencies. Which ones would you be watching? Would it be the euro or the yuan? They could be moving in different directions. And a Fed that has famously been unable to achieve its inflation target for these many years, why we should think that the Fed, by changing monetary policy, is going to be able to achieve some currency target, I think is very, very unlikely. So I just want to stress, I think this is a dangerous path to go down, and the recent body of your work certainly seems to be advocating for that intervention.
If I may,
Sure.
Senator, it would be anathema to me to suggest that we devalue our money to gain a trade advantage. What I'm saying is, within the context of the framework for deciding monetary policy, we also have to look at the impact on employment and on stable prices. And if other central banks engage in those unfair practices, it can affect employment, especially our manufacturers who have to compete.
But we can observe that from domestic data. We don't have to reference foreign exchange rates to determine whether there's an adverse problem with employment in the U.S. Sorry, Mr. Chairman.
Senator Test.
We
contracted with a gentleman who had set up a satellite system for Colombia to listen in on Soviet television. We set up the same operation at our house. And it involves a big dish and a little computer. And since the Soviet satellite is not geostationary, and I don't know anything about these things except what was explained to me, but the Soviet satellite keeps moving. So the trick to latch onto it is to get a system that can follow it and track it. So our dish now, wired to this computer, does a little search about every 8 minutes, figures out which is the strongest direction, the strongest signal, and locks onto that and follows that for a little while. In the meantime, feeds through, and in my office set up in the house, I can watch color Soviet television from about 4:30 in the afternoon to about 7:30 in the morning. That comes out of Vladivostok. And then I get live Soviet radio straight out of Moscow all day long. So it's a pleasure for me to hear the language. I enjoy that. I don't pretend to understand all of it, but I can get some of it. And every once in a while there's something interesting that comes on the news.
What happened to that system at your home?
I presume the people who bought our house dismantled it. Because, I mean, this was a great big dish. One time a military helicopter just stayed near it, I'm sure taking pictures, as I understood at one time that there were only 3 such setups, and one was at NSA and one was at CIA, and we had one. So,
welcome to the Crypto Teacher, and guys, please like and subscribe and spread all over social media. It is imperative that we get back to learning finance and to understand how the world really works. Because once we understand how the world really works, we understand that everything is planned out. Now, of course, guys, we're going to get into Bitcoin and cryptos first before I go over the videos. Of course, I want to thank those who purchased the books, Crypto Teacher and WO book. Also, those who donate to the Cash App, Patreon. Also, much love for those who are purchasing from the stores. Now, guys, as far as what Bitcoin is concerned right now, it's still steady. Remember, guys, if you're new to this channel, we look at the indicators. Stable coins. Stable coins is what give the market liquidity. That's what pumps it and dumps it. So basically, when we're above $1, what? We're going down. When we're below 99.9, that means the market is going up. So the fact is, guys, make sure you're paying attention to the indicators. XRP, of course, is another indicator. Of course, when it tightens that spot with Tether or takes its third spot, of course, we go up. When that gap widens, of course, the market goes down. And then also, of course, volume is always a big picture that lets you know where the market is actually going. Now, basically, also, XRP now is going to be used again by another bank for collateral for derivative swaps. So, guys, the banking casino is definitely open. But getting into the videos, basically, we had Trump talk about the level playing field. Guys, the whole point of what he's trying to do is devalue the currency. It's not him, it's the Fed. Of course, it's so much debt. So how do you get rid of debt, guys? You devalue the currency. That's why I keep saying we're going to go through hyper deflation. Everybody thinks we're going to go through hyper inflation. We've been through that 50, 60 years. We're going to go through hyper deflation where everything is going to be cheap. So guys, I need for you to make sure you understand that if you can't get rid of the debt, you make it cheaper. That's all we're going to do is go through hyper deflation. Now, of course, Judy Shelton is not going to change the Fed. We know this. She's just going to be a piece of the puzzle. I just want to play that video to show you that, of course, she was working for the government. She was a spy. She said out her own mouth. We had a satellite. CIA and NSA was the only one that had one, and we had one too. So guys, wake up. Come on, guys, wake up. Now, the fact is that basically getting into the crypto news, we have Romania on its way to go blockchain and crypto. Of course, the European Union is trying to drop their regulation as far as with crypto and blockchain. And guys, remember, this is a global effort. We know this is all planned out. They already have their CBDCs sitting in the back ready to roll out. But of course, this is what they tell the people. We have Terry selling Wonder Woman, of course, Ethereum back. Also, PayPal picks Paxos for their crypto new service. We know PayPal is getting into crypto. Of course, 500 million users. That is big. Basically, we had the hackers attack the telecom giant ads for Monero. So we know this hacking is all on purpose, just to get in people's head to bring in the crypto market. Now, the fact is, we had the former finance secretary for cryptos in India say, regulation as far as commodity is concerned. We had the banking giant Standard Charter building a crypto custody solutions. Remember, guys, that this said this is a global effort. Japan Central Bank setting up basically a new team to research digital currencies. We already know they have a stable coin that's about to come out that's going to be pegged to the yen. Also, basically, we had France Central Bank select 8 candidates. And of course, the big banks to actually test out their crypto. We had MasterCard inks a deal with WireX expansion for expansion of its crypto. Basically, what's interesting in this one here, guys, is that basically the crypto social media, Black Mirror, of course, was on Netflix. All this is coming to reality. Of course, now because of the hacking, a lot of the, the social networking is going to be attached to crypto, of course. Now, getting over into world news, we have banks paying people to bring in spare change. We know what the C word was about. It was about cutting the physical currency out, so therefore they can move us to a digital. And of course, if you cut the physical currency out, of course you're going to have the coinage shortage. Now, guys, we had Citibank, Goldman Sachs, and JP Morgan hit all-time highs. We know why. The Fed is buying up a storm, so we know the bond market is booming. Also, basically, we have China rebounding after the C word. Guys, there's billions of people over there. They should definitely have a way bigger problem with the C word than us. But of course, this is all planned out. Lastly, with sad news, we had the federal judge, Esther Salas' son was killed weeks after, of course, the Epstein case was set on her desk, and the husband also was injured. So basically, we're going to keep up with that news. But guys, that's all I have for you. Don't forget about the books, Cryptoteacher NWO book, also the store. Guys, also, if you're new to cryptos, you have your Binance, Coinbase, Bitrue. Also, guys, your stocks. You have your Cobalt, your chip stocks, your gaming, your banking. Everybody's sitting at home. Don't forget about those stocks. The C word, the biotech stocks, they're booming. Don't forget about those. And of course, as everybody's sitting at home getting free money, what are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and y'all have a wonderful day.